Well, how about this for a welcome to the OSBA moment for Bond Academy from Scarborough, taking on the reigning champs in Royal Crown, of course, led by Justice Hazley, who just joined us up here in the booth talking about the confidence that him and this team have of being able to go back and repeat for the third time as champions, despite losing players like Sean Blake and some other high-flying, big contributors to the Lions squad. This one was circled on my calendar kind of before the weekend. I wanted to see how Bond Academy would adjust, and obviously after seeing Xavier Ice Tolman Monroe yesterday, seeing what he can continue to bring to this Lions squad in search of some secondary and tertiary scoring.
With his height, though, does come the question from a lot of people, and I know there's always the telltale story of does he have the fundamental basketball skills to really back it up? Because with some coaches, they can get kind of complacent and just really teach them to use their size, stand down low, and just kind of pop it off the backboard. But when you now go to the higher levels, we see players like Bol Bol, right? A lot of people like Taco Fall. He actually just signed a contract in the NBL in Australia. When you have players who have height, you need to be able to have them use their height, yes, but give them the ability to be playmakers as well. And we saw a player we talked to actually on the Manitoba squad, 7 foot tall as
Oh,
well.
Istvan Reed.
Thank you very much. I feel so bad I was blanking on his name, but
He's going to lift me up so I can dunk one time.
Yes, exactly. See, that's what I was forgetting because I was remembering that. But he even said, he's like, Coach runs me through the exact same plays that the point guards are doing. I'm doing one-on-ones. I'm doing all of that. So even though it's not really translating a lot of that into the game, he's still making sure that he has those handles when necessary, or he's able to dribble up the ball. So I think that's just as important as making sure that his playmaking ability down low is as good as everything else.
Slight delay in tip-off here for the 4:30 game as we wait for the second official to make their way back to the gymnasium. We'll get you the starting lineups for Bond Academy. Number 7, Jalen Ford. Number 4, Marquise De Silva Romeo. Number 5, Raznak Sudani. Number 11, Jaden Genero, and I believe it was number 1, Elijah Littleton in the starting 5 rotation, but all players taking the court. Meanwhile, Royal Crown going to counter with their leader, Justice Hazley. Number 6, the Aussie Xavier Ice Tolman Monroe. 23, Cairo Perry. 9, Jan Ariel Kwaku Afili. And lastly, number 4, Kimani Walters. Going to get some extra shots up here while we can. Keep the blood flowing and get the feel of the ball in the hands before tip-off here. 3 more games on the schedule. Of course, this one followed by the Royal Crown women taking on ESSA Prep. And then lastly, William Academy, their debut as their new team as William Academy, formerly part of the OSBA, rebranded and code Provincials team, will be the 7:30 tip-off. And now the rest of Royal Crown gets up off the bench, sees their opponent staying loose, decide they want to do the same thing.
It's almost like in practice when you try to one-up each other slightly.
Oh, yeah.
It's like you see one half of the gym doing this, so then you just kind of copy and do the same thing.
And I want to say I appreciate the drastic difference in, jersey color and number color on these ones.
Very
easy to make out who is who.
Yep. I was going to say the white outline around the black number is very helpful. The separation is key. Helps with my eyes, to be honest.
So we've got one official checked in at the scorer's table waiting for the second to arrive. Good amount of people in the gymnasium to take this game in.
Every player's dunked so far.
Every player?
I'd say every player but 2 so far on Royal Crown. Just kind of going through the layup lines. I would say it's a dunk line. It's not really a layup line, but. See, it's interesting because with me growing up, when you would walk into a gym, it's usually like the one person you kind of pick out on the lineup that can do the dunk. But I could only imagine when you walk into a gym and you see them doing a layup line as a dunk line, and they're just kind of all riffing. Yeah,
Makes you really second guess your want to take a charge.
A little bit, because now I know we were talking about this yesterday, with the increased focus with social media now, people getting postered
Yeah.
is a big talk. It's a big talking
So
point.
Reed said he had 2 poster dunks yesterday.
Hmm.
I didn't catch any of them on any of the feeds, but I'm going to go looking for them today. Or tonight, I should say, when I get home.
I got caught
Pick the feed up.
in a really bad one time. The gym erupted. I backpedaled and I stepped on my own foot and I fell.
Ooh.
But to be fair, I thought it was hilarious.
Well, I mean, if you can laugh at yourself, then that's good.
Well, the best part about it was that the girl came up to me afterwards because she was all hyped up. She comes up to me and whispers, she's like, "Thank you for falling." And I was like, "Hey, thanks for making me look bad." I was like, "You're welcome." No worries, my pleasure.
As things get figured out on the court, we are going to step aside and come right back before tip-off between Bond Academy and the Royal Crown Lions here at the 2024 OSBA Fall Showcase. Stick with us. Tip-off coming up shortly. Finally, we get the 4:30 tip-off underway shortly after 4:40 here. 32 minutes to be played. The 7-footer wins the tip-off, and first opportunity goes to Royal Crown. Ball doesn't fall for Jan Ariel Kwakwa-Fili. And now Bond get it on the baseline as we set off the top of the broadcast. What a way to enter the OSBA for Bond Academy, taking on the 2-time champion Royal Crown, looking for a three-peat this year, something Justice Hazley had mentioned that is very much on the goal sheet for this season. We got an out-of-bounds play. Razak Soudani of Bond Academy stepping on the baseline, turning the ball over on their first offensive possession. And here is Hazley. The line is set at 5.5 alley-oop attempts in the game. We will keep you updated with that. Down inside, one bounce on the floor and a two-handed jam, Xavier Ice Toman Monroe. Long stride gets Jalen Ford to the basket. Can't convert the layup.
I know he has his height and he relies on that stuff, but I don't want him to not rely on boxing out too. He could have grabbed it and maybe had a better, clearer path on the transition.
Walters gives it up near side. Cairo Perry, 3 is good. 5-0 for the Lions. Jaden Genero over the timeline, closely guarded by Justice Hazley, able to keep the dribble alive, and now Ice Toman Monroe ahead to Hazley. Hazley, that's one alley-oop. We are just a minute 15 in. Cairo Perry, the recipient of that there. 7-0, a minute and 16 seconds into the game, and boy, the over's looking good.
I'm feeling good about my prediction. Yeah, I'm feeling good. Yep. The number kind of came to me. I felt it, and as soon as I heard his confidence here when he was telling us about how he immediately looks for like that alley-oop play style, I was like, okay, great. I kind of know what I'm calling.
Not only that, but you can forgive a couple of mistakes here in these types of tournaments where you're getting ready for the preseason. And if you're going to play with Justice, you got to know that he's looking for you at the rim. We see some of the Royal Crown women kind of moving through the crowd here, starting to loosen up for their game, which comes at you live, 6 o'clock on OSBA TV's YouTube page. So a quick timeout for Bond Academy, and Rusty Ahmed, head coach of Bond Academy, trying to get his guys on the same page. Not too sure he loved what he was seeing on either side of the ball there in the opening minute 16. And now Bond Academy have the side out in their defensive end. Marquise da Silva Romeo gets it in. Ford. Genero back to da Silva Romeo. Into trouble. Justice Hazley. Head up. And that's a second alley-oop attempt for Jan Ariel Kwakwa-Fili. Gets that one down 9-0. And if you're keeping score at home, yes, you can jot down 2 alley-oop attempts from the hands of Hazley. Genero gives it to the far side. Ford off the side. Rebound, almost corralled by Benzangi. Heads up the other way, Hazley. Nice stutter step, and following the play was Ice Toman Monroe, couldn't complete it. Kwakwa-Fili gets the second chance opportunity. 11-0 now, Royal Crown.
It's just the composure from Hazley, and I think it also comes down to the amount of basketball he plays, but the level he plays at. He just plays with such a composure where he's able to just bring out the best of his entire team.
Here he is at the top. Sends action to the far side. Handoff, Cairo Perry. Back to Hazley, now uses the screen. Hazley from 3, no. Off the back stanchion, out of bounds. As we get a substitution for Bond Academy. Heading out, number 11, Jaden Genero, and into the game, Elijah Littleton, number 1. The Lions playing with a good amount of energy here early. Bond is lacking that. A little quiet on the floor. Inside pass. Good defensive stance. Ice Toman Monroe with the block, his second of the game. Here's Hazley now, moving down court. Kicks it back out. Walters, nothing there. Inside, Ice Tolman Monroe, blocked. Contact on the arm. Foul's going to be on Razak Sudani.
Some good physicality we're seeing from Ice Tolman Monroe, which we weren't seeing yesterday. It's not like he was playing a bit scared, but I can understand it's like new team. You're kind of just getting into the rotation. It might have just taken him a little bit longer to get comfortable, but he's acting more comfortable now than he was in yesterday's game.
Sometimes all it takes is one game, you know, and you figure a few things out. I bet you he thought about his performance last night, had conversations with Justice Hazley, obviously, and head coach Mike DiGiorgio, trying to figure out exactly how he fits into these schemes as he goes 1 for 2 from the line.
And I know we mentioned as well, Royal Crown is a champion in their own right. They won last season.
And the season before.
Exactly, but Ice Tolman Monroe, he has a championship mindset as well, winning last season, coming from Australia with the Sydney Comets. So he knows what it takes to have a championship team. It's just obviously translating that here, and I know the play style can be a bit different. So he's getting there, and it's slowly but surely we're seeing the change in his gameplay.
Da Silva Romeo here gives it up to Ford. Ford, jab step to the right into the lane. Ball knocked loose. Julian Binzangi gives it up. Razak Sudani from straight on 3, and Bond Academy are on the board. They're going to say it's 2 foot on the line. Hazley working down the left-hand side, uses the screen into the paint. Floater blocked at the top by Sudani. Cairo Perry gets it, kicks it to the corner. That shot too strong. Hazley corrals the loose ball. 14 seconds on the shot clock. Hazley, whip pass. Perry unable. That was a deflected pass. I was going to say unable to keep it in the front side. Hazley now baseline 3. That rims around and through. Elijah Littleton, near side, bounce pass into the middle. Binzangi hands it off. Ford working to the near side. He gives it up now. Marquise Da Silva Romeo shoots. That's blocked. And Justice Hazley dribbles it into an opponent. Gives it right back over into the paint. Binzangi, that's a travel.
I don't want to say that Bond is necessarily playing a bit scared, but maybe timid is probably the better word. It's just they keep rotating the ball around the perimeter, which is fine. And I've been saying creating movement is good, but creating movement to do what? You have to do something with that. Set a screen, do a handoff, have someone cut in. But I can understand the presence of having such a big down low could be a hard mental hurdle to get over.
That's 3 alley-oop attempts, and what a finish. Jan Ariel Kuakuafili, and give Hazley the 3rd assist on the alley-oop attempts.
I should have put a candy bar or something on it.
I would have taken that.
Yeah, right? I think that's a fair one.
Jab step. Marquise Da Silva Romeo with a nice pass down low. Sudani with the reverse finish. So Sudani's got all 4 points for Bond Academy here as we are under 3 minutes in the opening quarter. Hazley now directing traffic. Gets it right back on the near side. Can't go under the screen on Justice Hazley because he'll make you pay 20 points. And we're not even through the first quarter. It is a 16-point lead. Welcome to the OSBA Bond Academy. Marquise Da Silva Romeo. That's off the mark. Hazley with the rebound ahead of the pack. Cairo Perry. Nice elevation, second chance opportunity. No, tries to save it and does. Levi Molotowski gives it up to Hazley. Perry relocates to the corner. Doesn't get the corner 3 to go. And Bond Academy away with the rebound. Here comes Jalen Ford. Jalen Ford working on Hazley, pokes it away. Da Silva Romeo from 3, using the backboard. That's good.
Nobody's calling bank. We've been seeing a lot of bank 3s in this game. Or not in this game, but just today in general.
I mean, the board's there, use it.
Yeah, true.
I use it. Hazley again from 3. That one's a little off to the right. But right there, corralling the rebound and getting it out. Molotowski gets a chance. Jan Ariel Kuakuafili gets the rebound opportunity, and in comes Caleb Zhu for Royal Crown. Bond Academy with a substitution as well as we get our first look at Javon Givens. Givens over the timeline. De Silva Romeo, baseline jumper, no. Fighting for the rebound, a couple of players. And again, it's Sudani making an effort down low, gets fouled, but he was passing the ball instead of going right back up where he was underneath the hoop. So baseline out of bounds. Elijah Littleton has it for Bond Academy.
Sudani and De Silva Romeo are really the only players for Bond Academy that I'm seeing go up with some aggression down low. Not to say that everybody on the floor right now for Bond Academy needs to do so, but you have to go up with aggression to draw those fouls. And don't be as scared of a little contact either.
Jalen Ford draws up one from three, no good. Mikhailo Lipka into the corner. Molotowski with the floater, no. Right there for the rebound, and Zhu down low, goes up, all ball. Pass, Bond Academy, Sudani, right-handed finish. It's an 11-point lead now for the Lions. Bond starting to find their rhythm. Turned over, here's Bond on the run. It's a 2-on-1, spin move, patience. The ball goes down for Marquise De Silva Romeo. Kimani Walters hands it off, and Javon Givens is going to be called for the foul. Number 15 for Royal Crown, who we call E. In fact, the team calls him that as well. In to accept the inbound pass, gives it right back to Kimani Walters. Givens trying to get it to Zhu, and that's another interrupted pass out on the run. De Silva Romeo gets the defender in the air before going for the shot, so he'll head to the free throw line for two. 20 seconds remaining in the opening 8. It's a 9-point lead for Royal Crown.
Coaches have been saying, at least for Royal Crown specifically, they've been doing the hand gesture of like, calm it down a little bit. But in the instance of what they're trying to tell their team is, why are you jumping? Stay on the ground, because they have the height down low. But for whatever reason, they're jumping and they're off-centered, and they're giving Bond Academy the chance to go to the line, but also a chance to drive past them. Like if you're in the air and your feet aren't on the ground, it makes it really easy for someone to drive by you.
The second is good for De Silva Romeo. It is a 8-point lead now for the Lions. 18 seconds left in the opening quarter. A good move to get by the first line of defense for Walters. He slows up, has to do the same again, ignores the screen from Zhu. Corner shot is up, rim out. E with the rebound. 5 seconds left. E attacks the paint, spins around, ball's knocked loose. The quarter comes to an end without another field goal attempt, and after 8 minutes of play, Bond Academy trail the Lions by 8.
In terms of how timid that I thought Bond Academy was playing, not necessarily with their aggression level, because they're playing hard, but just maybe in terms of setting up a play and really kind of running it full out. The deficit isn't crazy. It's only 8 points. It's very doable. But it also does play to the strength of their determination, because going up against Royal Crown in any aspect is not an easy feat. Just mentally, right? Before you even go onto the court, the name of the organization carries a lot of weight, especially with the talent of players that you know they have on that roster. So I think Bond Academy is honestly going out there and they're playing hard basketball, and it's working for them. I would just like to see maybe a bit more clinical on their finishes, because they're having chances where they're going to the net. It's just not dropping for them.
And if you noticed, when Justice Hazley left the floor, some of the offensive ball movement got a little stagnant, and they were looking, to the ball handler to make the initiation as opposed to moving off the ball. But Hazley will start the second quarter. And for those of you keeping track at home, we have 3 so far alley-oop attempts from Justice Hazley. The over-under set at 5.5. I took the under. Sydney took the over. We could very well know by the end of this quarter who is right and who is wrong.
I'm really feeling confident on this one.
Yeah, I'm not feeling confident about it.
It's okay.
Givens over the timeline, gives it up. Littleton inside the three-point line. Jumper no good. Rebound. Walters. No one picks up the ball handler, so he walks right into the paint. Floater from just inside the elbow is good. Here's Givens the other way, turning on the Jets. In the corner, shots up. De Silva Romeo, no. Rebound Lipka. Hazley now walks into a three off the back of the iron, right into the hands of a Bond player on the floor. He throws it promptly off of a Tiger and out, a Lion, and out of bounds. Elijah Littleton given lots of time and space outside the three-point line, so he's going to shoot it off the iron. Two teammates fighting for the rebound. E comes away with it, and now given up on the near side. Lipka picks up the dribble, and in the corner, Hazley. Hazley over the top. And good defense there. Swatting that away was Razak Sudani, and stepping out of bounds, Elijah Littleton turns the ball over. So we're starting to see a little bit more of that connection developing between Hazley and Ice Tolman Monroe. And there it is on the inbound. Does that count as an alley-oop?
I was going to say I would count it, but it didn't go in, so.
But it's still, we're counting attempts, so there's four.
There we go. Oh, yeah, you're right. We didn't say completions. It was just attempts.
The three off the mark from Jalen Ford. And here comes Hazley. Hazley keeps this time. Second chance opportunity, and that's why you follow up the play. Kimani Walters extends the lead with 2 points of his own. Givens down low. Nice cut. Beautiful take. Beautiful finish. Jalen Ford, and that's how you do it. Hazley into the front court. The handoff to E at the top. Right back to Hazley around the screen. Into the corner. Back into the paint, far side. Walters, too strong. Coming away with the rebound was Lipka. Rewarded for the effort. Lipka into the corner for E, and that three is bottomed. 27-14, under 6 minutes remaining in the opening half. Givens over the timeline wants the screen from Sudani. Quick hands, active hands by Hazley, and a little bit too high to use that screen. Pass a little errant, and we've been talking about that all weekend long. If you want to use the screen, you got to brush shoulders with your teammate. You got to send your defender into that body. Guacuafili, Perry, and Cordell Diaz into the game for the Lions. Diaz on the far side now. Cairo Perry has that pass picked off. Bond Academy 1-on-5, shooters in the corner, and Hazley does a great job to come back and intercept that pass. Up 13, and the effort is still there for Justice Hazley. We got a battle down low, 3 seconds on Xavier Ice Tolman Monroe. They tried to get him the ball. It wasn't there at first, so he had to relocate, but he stayed within the key.
I also think that was too on Ice Tolman Monroe. He wanted it so bad that I think he just forgot how long he had been in there for.
Deep three, rims in and out, and Hazley with the defensive rebound. Looks ahead. No one's up court, so they'll get set in the half-court offense. Ice Tolman Monroe into the corner. Perry working with Monroe. Monroe now on the block, gets double-teamed, shows some patience. A nice right-handed skyhook. And Ice Tolman Monroe adds to the Lions' lead. Littleton directing traffic, that time using the screen a little bit better. It's Givens from the corner. Hazley with the rejection. Givens' second chance, and that's going to be an offensive foul. Hazley beat him to the spot. Givens dropped the shoulder. And we got a timeout on the floor. It is a 15-point lead in favor of the Lions, who threw the first jab, and then Bond Academy came back with a couple of hits themselves, but then it's been right hook, left hook, almost an uppercut for the Lions, and it seems like any time Justice Hazley's on the floor, they are in complete control.
It also doesn't look like Bond Academy have really been able to set up anything offensively, because the chances that they are getting are almost fast break opportunities that they either pull out for a three or they have one person kind of drive in, and if there's nothing, they kick it out. but there's nobody really standing on the court calling anything for them. Like, there's no one to say, okay, let's do a screen or let's do a switch, but there is that person and there's multiple playmakers on Royal Crown. So I honestly think that's the key difference right now, is there's not really a true person on Bond Academy that is willing to slow the game down just a little bit. I understand, like, you're down, but take your time and execute baskets and just kind of think of it as like a point at a time. Every time you're down on offense, you should be looking to score.
4:33 remaining in the opening half. Royal Crown in the offensive half. Hazley at the top of the key. A little bit of a zone defense now. They get it into the Aussie. Ice Tolman Monroe. Nice stepping and following up the play. Jan Ariel Kouakoua-Fili benefits from going to the offensive glass. Here's Givens now. Gives it up. Littleton working on two. Baseline still there. Littleton moves inside, and Cairo Perry comes across the body with a hand. So Elijah Littleton to the free throw line, looking to chip away at this lead that has been amassed by Royal Crown. Good on the first for Littleton. Gets the friendly roll on the second. Perry wants it. Littleton works over top to knock it loose into the corner. Kouakoua-Fili, back iron, rebounded. Ice Tolman Monroe, second chance opportunity, gets the bucket. Littleton stuck in the corner. Cairo Perry playing good defense. That's a little too much body there. Had to give him some sort of lane and did not, as we see Kimani Walters check back in for Cordell Diaz. The Lions make a substitution. Littleton now working on two. Call that a rejection for Ice Tolman Monroe. Here's Walters. And stolen cleanly, Marquise De Silva Romeo. He's taking it the whole way, following up the play as Littleton to clean up the garbage. Hazley realizes they need to slow things down, and so he will do so, jogging over the timeline. Hands it off to Perry, gets it right back. Has the screen. Ice Tolman Monroe goes to his left. Top side three, bottom. Javon Givens gets the switch quite easily, and they switch right back. He wants the screen from Julian Benzangi. Givens off glass, no. With the board and handed right to Kouakoua-Fili. Nice pass. Ice Tolman Monroe catches high, keeps it high, big to big ball. Love to see that. It's a 20-point game in favor of the Lions. Quick move. Javon Givens into the corner. Littleton for three. Near iron. Kouakoua-Fili with the rebound. Trapped. Gets it up quick. Cairo Perry. It's 4-on-3. Perry from three. Back iron and right into the hands of De Silva Romeo, who is going to slow it down himself. Hazley, quick hands on defense, knocks it out of bounds. As we are under 2 minutes remaining in the opening half, Caleb Zhu checking back in, and Xavier Ice Tolman Monroe heads to the bench.
We noticed, too, with Caleb Zhu, he was really coming into his own physicality later in the fourth quarter during their game last night. So it's something I would say I would like to see more consistent throughout the game, and I've seen it a little bit in flashes so far in this one.
Heads up pass from Cairo Perry to Kimani Walters out on the run. He makes that look easy, being chased down by two red jerseys. Nice bounce pass, Sudani. Fakes, goes up right there at the top. Kouakoua-Fili for the rejection. Hazley takes it himself, leaves it short. And Jalen Ford out the other way. Pushes it ahead. De Silva Romeo walks into a three. Back iron. Sudani's there for the rebound. A contact on the arm as Jaden Genero will head to the free throw line for a pair. Levi Molotowski checking back in for Royal Crown. Justice Hazley to the bench. The first free throw good for Genero. The second tickles twine as well, and it is back to a 20-point game. Thanks for joining us here at the 2024 OSBA Fall Showcase webcast on OSBA TV, the YouTube page. JJ Avicenne and Sydney Holmes on the call. Molotowski with the floater from the free throw line. That's a thing of beauty. We are under a minute remaining in the opening half. Bond Academy stuck 22. Here's Genero dancing with it over the timeline. Into the middle. Genero, bounce pass. Sudani kicks it back out. Loose ball collected by Genero. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Genero in, floater from the free throw line, no. And Caleb Zhu gets the rebound. And it's Kimani Walters out on the run. Euro stepping into the corner. Molotowski is pure. 24 seconds, 25-point lead. Bond Academy on the offensive. It's De Silva Romeo into the paint. Stutter step, keeps the ball alive. Here's Ford. Ford from three. Nowhere near the net. Walters the other way, going to keep it himself, and quick hands for Marquise De Silva Romeo to tap that one away. 6 seconds left in the quarter. Bond Academy have it. Quick in. Genero, head up. That pass interrupted, and it's Molotowski getting a hand in the lane. 45-20 at the half. Here from the 4:30 tip-off. We are shortly past 5 o'clock. The next game coming at 6. There is 16 more minutes of action between Bond Academy and Royal Crown at the 2024 OSBA Fall Showcase. We will return in 5 minutes' time with second half action. Royal Crown lead by 25 as we begin the third quarter here at the 2024 OSBA Fall Showcase over Bond Academy, the newcomers to the OSBA. Hazley has been positively impacting the ball for the Lions. Cairo Perry shots off the mark, falls into the hands of Razak Sudani. Genero now gives up the ball to Givens. Marquise de Silva Romeo far side. Justice Hazley with the block. Saved before going out. Kuakua Fili gets it in. Nice 1-2 step from Walters. Fouled going up. So Kimani Walters heads to the free throw line as all 5 blue jerseys were headed to collect that rebound. It's good team basketball. Yesterday we talked about the relationship between Justice Hazley and head coach Mike DiGiorgio. He touched on that relationship when we spoke to him earlier today. And it goes beyond basketball, which is really what the sport's all about, right? Creating long-lasting relationships and helping each other through life, not just basketball.
Having that connection point with a coach or with a teammate is honestly what it makes the connection stronger, and it honestly allows you to play at that even higher level.
Do you have a coach that comes to mind when you think of, special development as a person and not just a basketball player?
For sure.
Shot clock violation there quickly before we get to that answer.
So mine would be, so her name's Coach Tamara Nemhard. So she, in her own right, was a fantastic collegiate basketball player. She had multiple awards at Seneca College. And I met her maybe a year left in my rep basketball career. I played for the Scarborough Blues, and then I had my AAU travel team with her. But I would say she would be the fundamental person who was able to teach me not only how to carry myself on the floor, but I'm a smaller big. She allowed me to really hone in on my craft. That could have been... That was close.
That looked clean from here.
I mean, from our vantage point.
And
it looked like he grabbed the ball.
I saw all ball. The
Yeah.
bench saw all ball.
Yeah.
And even Jovan Givens thought it was all ball. Not too sure how Kuakua Fili feels about it, but he's at the free throw line. Continue.
Well, so she not only taught me how to hone in my craft on the court, but also she made sure that we were doing things as a team. It was like a family unit, and also how to carry yourself, too. She always said to us, as much as she was hard on us, I never once felt that I was talked down to or that I was made to be ashamed of how I played. I knew that she was talking as aggressively as she was because of how much she cared, and that's honestly something that I've translated into my, obviously, career with media now and being able to approach that bird's eye view of the sport. So I attribute a lot of that success to her.
Hazley into the front court. Cairo Perry gives the handoff, and the ball finds its way back to Hazley. Hazley's three is up and good. You can't give him a sliver of space because he'll make you pay every single time. 48-23, 6 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Givens to the top of the key. Genero now brings it back out, working on Cairo Perry, trying to entice him to come out a little bit further. Benzangi sets the screen, and now it's Givens. Gets his defender in the air. Way to stick with it. Still affecting the shot was Hazley from the baseline. Quick pass over the timeline. Hazley gets it in to Walters. Right back to Hazley from the corner. Kuakua Fili fights for the rebound, gets the second chance opportunity, and lays it in right at the rim. Sudani with the handoff. De Silva Romeo trying to go baseline. It's taken away twice. Sudani now resetting at the top of the wing. Givens gets a little bit of space. Finds the shooter. That shot's off from De Silva Romeo. And now it's Cairo Perry moving into the front court. Perry, Hazley, more time, more space. That's short rims. Kuakua Fili fighting his teammate for the rebound. Sees a sliver of space on the baseline, but the travel is called. One too many steps.
Right now with the defense that Royal Crown is playing, it's very centralized. So a lot of the players, if not all of them, like on the last transition, majority of the defensemen had at least 1 foot in the key. So the play that Bond is trying to run right now, it's not that it's not that the play doesn't work. The problem is it doesn't work with the defense that's being shown to them. So right now they're having to resort to a lot of threes because they're being pushed to the outside, but there's no one that's been able to really knock it down for them so far.
Here's Kuakuafili for three. Yes. And Kuakuafili having a great start to the second half here. Rebound from beyond the arc.
This is where basketball IQ can kind of really come into play, because as soon as Bond Academy sees the defense that Royal Crown has set up, by the next transition it has changed. So I don't know if, maybe I need to be paying a little bit more closer attention to see if it's the players that are calling that or if it's coaches that are calling a shift. But every time they come down, they're either in a different formation where they're a lot more centralized and they're tighter into the key, or they're playing more of an aggressive man where they're directly on the person. So it's hard to adapt to that, and especially when you're seeing a different defense, in your brain you're like, okay, so let's try this play, but they haven't really been able to find a clean system that works for them. And yes, they've been getting some points, but it's only really been off of solo drives or kind of cuts to the net. Because Royal Crown is doing such a good job of anticipating Bond Academy's movement, Bond Academy as a result hasn't been able to set up anything where they're comfortable in their play.
Right now, the full court press, another defensive adjustment here for the Lions. So yes, head coach Mike DiGiorgio really pressing his guys to show different looks. Cairo Perry can't get around that, blocked by Kuakuafili, and he continues to put his name all over this third quarter. The three off the mark from the hands of Jalen Ford off the top of the backboard and out of bounds as we see Levi Molotowski check back in for Royal Crown, and Kimani Walters heads to the bench to catch a breather.
I don't want to say I'm nervous, but I haven't been seeing a lot of floaters lately. I haven't really been seeing any more since 3.
The alley-oops, we're at 4 of
thank goodness. So I just need 2 more.
You're 2 away.
Yep.
Kuakuafili. That one a little too strong. The rebound snatched by Elijah Littleton, and he gives it to Givens over the timeline, working on Hazley. All right, a little bit looser of a defense here from the Lions. And another block, Kuakuafili. He says, give me that ball, I'm going to go downhill. A nice shovel pass to Cairo Perry into the paint. The big man's open, he gives it to him down low. Ice Tolman Monroe finishes the play. Cairo Perry comes up a little gingerly. We'll keep an eye on that. Givens wants Molotowski. Gets around him. Foul's going to be called on the floor on Molotowski. And Javon Givens to the free throw line, shooting 2. Givens misses the first. And misses the second. E collects the rebound and promptly gives it to Justice Hazley. Hazley's first move to the left. Kuakuafili finds Lipka. Hand off to Hazley. That's a little too short. E with the rebound. Second chance opportunity. No. Hazley gets the loose ball. Gives it to E on the wing. Shots up. Back iron. Hazley almost had the second rebound, but it was snatched away by Julian Binzangi. Here's Givens into the front court. A little out of control, but collects it back now. Fading away on the baseline. The shot is good. Jalen Ford. Hazley wants the side cleared out. Moving into the paint. Here's the pass. Kuakuafili. Molotowski puts it to the deck. Kuakuafili now on the near side. Hazley wants it. Hazley, baseline. Nice pass and a nice finish. Mikhailo Lipka getting involved offensively. 57-25 in favor of Royal Crown over Bond Academy. 2 minutes remaining in the third quarter here from Bill Crothers Secondary School. It is the 2024 OSBA Fall Showcase. Stepping into the Jimmy was Jalen Ford. 4 straight points for Ford. Molotowski can't handle the hot pass. Here comes Ford the other way. Swiped away by Hazley. He makes up for his own mistake by getting the ball knocked away and preventing the fast break. And he'll get a breather alongside Kwaku Afili. And Caleb Zhu checks in. Littleton ignores the screen, moves to his right, has to give it up. Sudani back to Littleton. Extra pass, Genero. Feed the hot hand. Ford down on the block. Sudani can't keep it inbounds. Lions looking to play quick here. Walters directing traffic. Molotowski, catch and shoot, pure shot. Bottoms the three. Jaden Genero the other way. He wants the Sudani screen. He uses it, steps into a three of his own, back iron. Walters with the rebound, pushing the pace. Walters through the first line of defense, taking it himself, wanted the jam. There for the rejection was Elijah Littleton, and now the other way, the easy scoop finish, Marquise de Silva Romeo. Here's E. Bounce pass almost intercepted. Molotowski gets his defender in the air. One dribble to the left. And that brought down by Jaden Genero. He gives it up to the far side. Littleton over the timeline. 30 seconds left in the third quarter. De Silva Romeo working to the left. Ford down on the inside. Littleton will go to the line shooting two.
That was probably the best rotation I've seen from Bond in this game so far. They've been trying to do a little bit of rotation earlier in the game, but that was probably the cleanest I've ever seen them execute it, which honestly shows me that they're getting more comfortable, they're relying more on their systems, and it worked. I mean, the best thing you can either ask for is you head to the line for 2 foul shots, or you can get the basket to go.
Comes from away from the ball movement, and well done by Razak Sudani to get that offensive rebound. And gets a little overzealous there and fouls Mikhailo Lipka. Emotion maybe starting to leak in as we see Razak Sudani grabbing his right wrist there. It is taped. Looks like he could have irritated that injury. Molotowski's in the corner alone, and they find him. Molotowski catch and shoot. And can't leave him alone. He'll make you pay just like Justice Hazley does. The shot well beyond half is going to miss to the right. Jaden Genero with the last attempt to cut into the lead. It's 29-63, Royal Crown ahead here with 8 minutes left to play. And Bond Academy really trying to figure out what's working. And in that third quarter, it was Jalen Ford, but a lot of off-ball movement creating some opportunities for teammates.
We talked a lot about how teams are kind of coming into this tournament looking to find their flow. For a lot of players, yes, you compete outside of your program in the summer, but coming together is kind of a different play style. You look at teams like Royal Crown, I don't believe there's an off period for their organization. The majority of them will stay true to kind of their group. Yes, they go off and do other camps, but the majority of the time they're training with each other during the summer. Not to say that Bond doesn't do that, but when you've been doing that for as long as Royal Crown has and they've built such a solid system, it's hard when you come in and maybe you're still kind of working at the kinks and you're looking to find new rotations. They have tried and true plays that they know for certain will work. So it's hard for any team, not just for Bond Academy, to come in and to really disrupt that because they're so used to it's in them so much now that they instinctually know what to do and where to go, especially if a play falls apart, they know what to do. So it's hard for any team to really come in and dismantle that right away.
Here we go. We are underway with fourth quarter action. Genero working left with the right-handed scoop finish. That's difficult and well done for Jaden Genero. Zone defense now. Got to play the triangle offense if you're the Lions. Waiting to get the defender in the air is Mikhailo Lipka, who finishes the play. Genero now working to the right. picks up the dribble. Littleton, top side. It'll be De Silva Romeo. Bond Academy into the paint, kick out. That shot is off the mark. Second chance opportunity, Littleton showing some patience. Fouled by Caleb Zhu. And so Littleton goes to the free throw line. Just over 7 minutes remaining in the game. Again, we have 2 more games on the slate tonight. The next game is Royal Crown's women's team taking on ESSA Prep. And then the nightcap is Code Academy's provincial team taking on William Academy. We will have both games on OSBA TV on the YouTube page. Thanks for joining us here. If you're in the area in Markham, we are at Bill Crothers Secondary School, where all the OSBA Fall Showcase is taking place. We encourage you to come check out the action live. But we appreciate you tuning in online. And here come the Lions. Handoff to E. Gets it into Zhu. That pass disrupted by Sudani. Out on the run. Gets the defender in the air and finishes the layup. Himani Walters faked the shot, got Zhu looking to the rim, and then tried to pass it to them. And then right the other way, Elijah Littleton's pass too far ahead of Sudani. And at the whistle, 6:30 left in the game here, 65-35. Another turnover, so turnover, turnover, turnover. We haven't seen a lot of that in this game. It's been mostly taking care of the ball as there is a timeout on the floor. And like earlier in the day, we are joined now in the broadcast booth by another player, Sydney Holmes. Take it away.
First time for this club here coming onto the broadcast. Full Circle Basketball Academy, located out of Pickering, Ontario. We have Isaiah Coskrell and Knight joining us. Isaiah, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you. Just kind of touch on this tournament in general. We see a lot of teams are really coming into this tournament looking to kind of establish their rotations, looking forward to the regular season. Was there any specific goals that your coaches had really set out before coming into this weekend?
Really just playing hard, making sure everybody knows who we are. Like just playing hard, having fun while you're doing it, and just, like keep the same pace all game, and that's really it.
And I know a lot of players, and I'm assuming it would be kind of the same for yourself as well. There's not really an off period. There's still, even though school's kind of out in the summer, there's still training and there's still things like that. Was there anything specific that you did over the summer to really train to get ready for the season up ahead?
Mostly just like physical training. Yeah, I'll do like ball handling here and there, but mostly physical training, getting my stamina, my strength, my quickness up for this upcoming season.
And with the grad class for yourself being 2025, was there any specific goals that you wanted to achieve? I would assume that you want to maybe cement yourself as more of a leader kind of on the team. Is that something that you wanted to look to improve on, or was that something that you kind of had on lock for last season?
For last season, previous seasons, I feel like I've had the leader role on my team, and just to continue and make sure we now like going to my grade 12 year, like so it shows, so we win, you know?
Yeah.
Well, head coach Kevin Jeffers there at Full Circle, and obviously his son Kenyon Kevin St. Louis coming off that gold medal performance for Team Ontario. Do they talk about that at all and what it took to win that medal and kind of bring some of that into this season, what it's going to take to get to the playoffs and even a championship at the OSBA?
Well, yeah, for Kenyon, it's like just basically we have a game plan, stick to that game plan. Coach Jeffers was the assistant coach or the head coach of the Team Ontario U15. So just bringing the same energy, stick to the game plan, trust the process. That's all it.
I think we've seen a lot more movement in the OSBA this year. Some players transferring teams, obviously a lot of great players leaving and moving on to the next step. What do you feel like is the landscape of the OSBA this year and the competition level that you're looking forward to?
I think it's amazing. I think there's a lot of talent. There's a lot of different teams now. From last year, there was a lot, but not as many as now. Now they're from different provinces, different. So it's pretty cool, diverse, like all these different type of players.
Well, Bond Academy making their debut in the OSBA. They get to take on the back-to-back champions in Royal Crown here, led by Justice Hazley. And they've got a 7-footer now from Australia. So we got international players coming over. We talked to a gentleman earlier, Jacob Sannon, who comes from New York. And so Ontario is starting to be, a place where competitive basketball and developmental basketball is being recognized, right? So I think that says a lot about, the players and what they bring to the court.
Yeah, it does.
4:29 left in this game, 70-37 for the Lions. Joining us in the booth is Isaiah Coscarella-Knight from Full Circle Basketball Academy, Pickering, Ontario. We are in the preseason right now, trying to work out the kinks and get into the flow of the sets of offense. What do you think, is the biggest takeaway so far from this weekend from you and your squad?
Well, yesterday we got the W. It was a little rusty first, really like our first game. So just working out how we run stuff, like our roles on the team, and then now our next game is a league game. So hopefully we lock in for that.
There you go. Inbound pass disrupted by E. The Lions out on the run. He's going to keep it. Loose ball. Picked up. Bond Academy out the other way. De Silva Romeo into the corner. The shooter can't get it to go, and now it's Molotowski. And again, the Lions on the run. No look pass, far side. Lipka bottoms the three. It's not just the men's side of the OSBA either. Like, you look at some of the women's programs and the women's teams and the level of talent and the people. We were talking to somebody earlier, Fiona Madigan from Orangeville Prep. She used to drive from North Bay 8 hours to practice with her team. Now, that's dedication to the game of basketball. And a big thing we were asking everybody was, it's oftentimes where you're so sunken into the game and you sleep, eat, breathe basketball. Is there something that you do to kind of give yourself a break from that from time to time?
Well, yeah, I guess for me, like working out really helps with like taking a break from basketball, the dribbling, all this. Like it helps because it's still like helping me for basketball, but it's just a little break from basketball, so it's nice.
Floater by Molotowski is good, adding to the Royal Crown lead as we are now under 3 minutes remaining in this contest. Again, 2 more games here tonight from the Bill Crothers Secondary School Gymnasium. It is the 2024 OSBA Fall Showcase. A lot of basketball content being created here. On Point Basketball, obviously, the Ontario Basketball Association. Everyone's trying to get on the highlight reel as they figure out how to approach the start of the season. Looks like you guys have quite a deep squad. How important throughout the season will the bench players be, not only during practice and getting you ready for game day, but also during the games, bringing energy, being loud, being vocal, talking about when the shot clock's low or seeing different things on the court? How much do you rely on bench players for their presence, even if they don't get into the game?
They're very important. Just their energy helps the starters or the rotational mans. It helps them a lot. So their energy, just bringing it, helping the team no matter what. Even if you're not playing, it always helps.
And how do you relay that message to some of those players? That they're thirsty to get on the floor, they just can't. It's just not their time yet.
Well, eventually, once they do get on the floor, if they make a mistake, just make sure they keep their head up. Make sure you help them no matter what. It's your teammate. So,
is there somebody from your past that really helped you when you kind of were figuring your way out on the floor?
Mostly my coaches. Yeah. I feel like on every team I've been like a leader.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's just the coaches that have helped me, showing me what to do to be a better player, and yeah.
So you're trying to be that guy for the next generation of talent.
Yes.
Hazley moves into the middle, swallowed up there by Julian Benzangi. Another shot from Molotowski, that one no good. Givens on the rebound as we approach the 1 minute mark of the final quarter. 75-39, the pull-up Jimmy good, Jalen Ford. You wanted to give us some analysis on the final minute here, Isaiah?
We were 2 great teams playing. These are the defending champs, right?
Back-to-back champs, yeah. They had a couple of players that left. Obviously, Sean Blake, one of the biggest impact players in the OSBA last year. But Justice Hazley, the leader of the Royal Crown squad, doing a lot of the heavy lifting, at least in this tournament. So we'll have to follow him, and he's somebody to look out for throughout the regular season. We'll see what we got on the inbound play. Give it to the big man up top, Alex Peacock, who hands it off promptly to Hazley. Oh, inside out dribble, pulls the three. That's well short. 1-2 step in off the backboard. Julian Binzangi lost the handle, but able to corral it and get it back in for two. When you're on a fast break, you're worried about anybody chasing you down, or are you only focused on the rim?
Mostly focus on the rim. If a lot of people care about, if they get pinned or blocked, I feel like it's part of basketball. It happens. So just focus on the basket. Try your best to get it in. And if you don't, get it back the next play.
Block. Second chance opportunity. Bond Academy now into the corner. Up top, John Goldborn for three. That's pure. And time will expire on this game. We want to thank Isaiah Coscarella Knight for stopping into the broadcast booth. We wish you the best of luck this season. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Thank you.
We'll be following you all season long.
Thank you, sir.
That comes to the end of that 4:30 tip-off. We are moving towards the 6 o'clock tip-off in about 20 minutes, and we will have more interviews upcoming. Stay with us. We'll be right back.